Sounds like you guys are making popcorn. I thought we were going to do a podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Gee, that stuff is great. Can I have some?
Man, by the time it got to you, it'd be stale and cold and kind of nasty.
You got a point, Jonathan. You got a point.
Well, I mean, come on, give us a break here. January 19th, National Popcorn Day is here. So give me a break on the popcorn, okay?
You know, corn was cultivated 9,000 years ago
No way.
from a wild grass in what's now Mexico. That means the oldest human cultivated agricultural product ever was actually popcorn.
Do you mean human or human?
Human.
Human? Oh, okay.
Now, corn in general is native solely to the Americas. And I know some people reference the Bible as saying that there was corn over in the Middle East during biblical times. And it's actually a mistranslation. It was supposed to be wheat or maybe even grain. Just kind of non-specific. But corn didn't exist over there.
I understand that the oldest popcorn style corn in North America was found in New Mexico in 1948. That corn was carbon dated. You're not going to believe this stuff. Carbon dated and found to be 5,600 years old.
Good heavens. Really?
Yeah, ancient Mesoamerican cultures, like the Aztecs, Mayans, Incans, they actually cultivated corn specifically because it could be popped. A popcorn variety of corns are actually millennia older than other varieties of corn.
Wait. You're saying that popcorn is older than like corn on the cob that we, eat that way?
Well, the ancient predecessor of corn, the teosinte that Dr. Deneen talked about being over 9,000 years old, actually kind of had a few hard shell kernels on a singular shaft with a very thin leaf-like husk over it. It would not be recognizable as corn on the cob. However, structurally it was quite similar.
Wasn't there a spiritual connection among the Aztecs?
Yeah, they believed that popcorn was a gift from the god Quetzalcoatl, which is the feathered serpent who's actually common in a lot of different Mesoamerican cultures. And he was one of their gods of creation. And they even had their own deity associated with specifically popcorn. It's named Zenteotl, who was also associated with kingship, which I think goes a long way to show how important maize and popcorn were to their society. It was a major product.
Yeah, I understand that popcorn was originally popped in the husk.
Yeah, on the cob even. They would take the husk and soak it in water and or oil, wrap it around the ear of corn, and slow roast it over a fire until it did the rapid expansion that we call popping.
Cool. I don't think I'd want to try that, actually. I prefer some other methods for making my popcorn, dudes.
Well, traditionally, in ancient times, they would pop it on the ear and then drizzle maybe chili powder or honey even over the corn and just kind of eat it like that. Just delicious.
You know, we ought to do a podcast about some of the rituals and ceremonies of Aztec culture. I know they're considered to be pretty brutal, but I think if we explore them a little further, we'd be surprised at the amount of connection.
Yeah, and that brings up, oh gosh, I'm gonna mess up his name. The god Zenteotl, the god associated with kingship. Amazing. And now, yes, as you mentioned, the Aztecs had some very brutal, gruesome, bloody kinds of rituals. And with the Indiana Jones movie where they had the sacrifice scene.
Yeah, the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of their rituals make that look like PG, tame material. It was pretty gruesome.
But they loved their popcorn, man.
Yeah.
I see there was also a popcorn dance at one time.
Oh yeah, popcorn as well as the maize seeds and even the husk were used to form decorative garlands and necklaces. That they were used as sort of decoration for the sacrifices. They would even, put it on the statues as a symbolic offering of, subservience and recognition to their gods.
Much like we do today with Christmas trees sometimes, the garlands of popcorn. I know it's not as popular today, but like in the 50s, I remember trees that were decorated with popcorn.
Hopefully, Christmas tree garlands involve a hell of a lot less blood.
Indeed.
I'm sure. But now they also gave popcorn garlands to newlyweds as a sign of fertility.
That was the corn. Maize was the basis of their entire agricultural system, and popcorn was a delicacy thereof.
I know the Native Americans around the Great Lakes had varieties of both unpopped and popcorn hundreds of years before Europeans landed anywhere in the Americas.
Try like 6,000 years ago.
Well, actually, that was South America, down into Peru. They actually got popcorn and other corn varieties a little bit before they did north. I guess the desert was hard to cross over as far as trade routes went.
Yeah, I imagine it was, especially in those days. So, within the USA, this surprised me. That popcorn was used a lot in New England and was actually present at the first Thanksgiving.
Yes, there's a wonderful book on that. It's called Pop Culture, written by Andrew Smith, if anybody wants to get it. And the book says that John Winthrop Jr., son of the first governor of Massachusetts, said that Native Americans prepared maize by parsing it among the ashes, putting kernels into the hot embers. In the 1730s, Benjamin Franklin said Lenape warriors told him they could live on the hunt on 8 ounces of popcorn mixed with water. And during colonial periods, it was a breakfast cereal. Water, cream, and fruit was added to it, sometimes milk also.
Yeah. Corn, especially popcorn, was considered a delicacy in Europe after the initial trade was established with the American colonies.
Wasn't Vidoc's father a corn dealer?
It was. Check out our Vidoc podcast, folks. You'll like it a lot. It's in 2 parts.
Well, hey, somebody else that we already covered too, Edna Kellogg.
John Harvey's wife.
Yes. And we've mentioned her a couple of times in other podcasts like the Emily, the one on Marjorie Post and the one on
The Peanut Man, George Washington Carver.
Yes, there you go. So, today we tend to associate popcorn with movies.
Initially, movie owners did not want popcorn in their theaters. It increased overhead. It made a mess. It belied their ultra sophisticated image. So it was sold outside the theater. Some people were required to stow it when they came inside. This is something I found very interesting. Kevin Wilson, the man who founded Holiday Inn Hotels, began as a popcorn seller as a young child and liked it so much that he gave a standing order, even though he's been deceased for 20 years, that all Holiday Inns throughout the world have to have some way of people getting popcorn.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, here's another thing. My very first job as a kid, I was 15, I was working in a movie theater, right? And I can attest to the fact that popcorn does make a mess in the theater. It is quite interesting. But the reason it got into the theaters is because they figured out, okay, let's reduce the ticket price of the theater and sell popcorn for the theater while they're watching shows. And it caught on like wildfire. I mean, everybody goes to the movies and guess what? Got to have some popcorn, right?
It's one of the only industries that actually made money during the Depression.
Well, yeah. And, the Redenbacher family, that's how they made their fortune. They sold during the Depression. It was cheap. It was easy to get.
Now, they weren't making popcorn for sale commercially for home use around then. They were just selling corn to other sellers. They were a second or third tier supplier.
Going back a little further, in 1886, we mixed popcorn with peanuts and we get the first snack junk food, Cracker Jack.
Candy coated peanuts, popcorn, and a prize. That's what you get in Cracker Jack.
Now, what I thought was kind of weird about that is they were popping the popcorn by hand, for Cracker Jack. They didn't have a machine stirrer or agitator, or they had a giant pot and a handle, and they just were popping popcorn in giant vats of oil by hand.
The selling of popcorn really takes off during World War II because sugar rationing limits candy and other sweets to be sold in theaters. So what else are you going to buy? And then home cooking starts.
Absolutely. And in actually 1978, General Mills,
they patented the first microwave popcorn bag.
But no products were released until 1981. Part of the reason for that is because it was considered dangerous at first. Okay, you have these things exploding in a microwave, right? And there was concern that it would cause other problems. So they had to go through a lot of product testing. Today, we think nothing about it. We take a bag, toss it in the microwave, turn it on, it goes poppity pop pop. And soon we have popcorn.
What surprised me is how many other foods had popcorn versions. I found in a food lover's kitchen popcorn M&Ms, lollipops, and even ice cream.
Yep, popcorn ice cream.
Well, let's not forget the popcorn flavored vape juice.
Yeah. Okay. That's like stuff that you use for smoking, vapes. And, there's another website too, just to mention. It's called gypsyplate.com. And they have more than 25 more popcorn dishes. Some of them look pretty interesting. I would suggest, hey, go to these sites and see them. It'll blow your mind.
I'll tell you what blew my mind. Americans consume 14 billion with a B quarts of popcorn every year. That's 43 quarts for every man, woman, and child in the country.
And that's according to the U.S. Census Bureau.
Yes. So most commercial popcorns have a 30 to 40 fold expansion. Wait, can you grasp that idea? In other words, half cup of kernels creates about 15 cups of popcorn. Dude, that's wild.
That's out of this world.
And the U.S. is the capital of both popcorn consumption, and it is the center of agriculture for popcorn. I mean, the popcorn capital of the world is northern Midwest America.
which is why it surprised me so much that Native Americans in the Northeast made so much use of popcorn, because now most of the corn and the popcorn is grown in the Midwest. And it seems like that would be a lot better growing grounds, but I guess it must have grown okay in the Northeast too.
Oh, corn grows anywhere.
Yeah, it does. But oh my goodness, it is a true American thing.
All this talk about popcorn is making me very hungry.
Well, go pop some corn and enjoy it. Remember, January 19th is Popcorn Day, so you're allowed.
Okay. And I want to pay special tribute to my dear friends at Drew University who had some of the research here. As an alumni, I want to pay tribute. They've really done some excellent work.
What about their research? What did they do?
They helped figure out some of this material about expansion of how much could be produced from a small amount of popcorn kernels.
John's got a lot of information on that.
And I will be sharing it in our upcoming blog. For those of you that don't know, we are building a website to complement the podcast. And I'll be doing the behind the scenes section, and I'll have all of our sources and some of the creative process up for grabs in my
I
section.
encourage you to take a look at that, folks, and to give us either here or in the blog your comments, to leave a like, your suggestions for future topics. This is an interactive, interdependent process we're doing here.
Hey, don't forget to click on the reminder bell. That way you'll get posted on new podcasts coming up.
And remember always, history is not just made by prominent people. It's made by ordinary men and women every day.
So pay attention. Think about boots on the ground history, which is real history. Don't just get it from a book. You can find so many fascinating things around you every day. Think, look, learn, enjoy. Thanks a lot for listening today. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back and see us again. Later.
So long, folks.
Bye.